As a Black woman, Black History Month is everything to me, but this isn't just a month for me, this is my life. So 365 days a year. It's such a privilege and an honor to celebrate where I've come from and my ancestors before me who paved the way for me to be able to experience the very life that I live today.
Today kicks off Black History Month, and it's so important for Pink Lily to honor our commitment to be inclusive to all women. In honor of Black History Month, we are going to be amplifying Black women and using our platform to share their stories. We're also going to be donating 100% of the profits from select new graphic tees to the Foundation for Black Women's Wellness. The foundation is a Wisconsin-based nonprofit organization committed to the elimination of health disparities and other barriers impacting the lives of women and girls of African descent. They work to achieve this mission through education and outreach, advocacy, support circles, and power partnerships. One of the reasons we chose this foundation specifically was because the founder, Lisa, lost her mother to heart disease at just 64 years old. My granny passed away several years ago from heart disease, and it's very important for me to help bring awareness to health and wellness. So we're gonna ask you to head to pinklily.com and purchase a donation tee if you can. Help us raise funds for this wonderful foundation. If you're unable to purchase right now, that's okay too. You can still celebrate Black History Month with us by heading to our platform and listening to the stories of the Black content creators that we share.
I've been very, very fortunate to have so many opportunities, and I know it's because of those who came before me who fought those hard fights and, were literally killed and taken away from their families and just, went through so much. So being from Mississippi, I'm just extremely, extremely blessed to have had opportunities like being the third African American Miss Mississippi, and even being a contemporary Christian artist, and being able to be somewhat of an encouragement to other people through Christ. And as an African American woman, I celebrate my heritage. I celebrate just my ancestors and everything that they fought for so that I could be here today.
I really love how Pink Lily is showing up and supporting the Black community. It definitely speaks volumes within the company.
I agree, just because I think that it's nice that they show appreciation to not just African Americans, but it also just shows everybody else that they're here to support diversity. And that just right now, I feel like that plays a humongous part, especially what's going on in the world right now and what's happened over the course of years and years in this country. So we really appreciate that. I think
it's nice to have.
It's really nice,
Yeah.
So what I would tell my younger self is that it's okay to not fit in. It's okay to be different. It's okay if you have a different skin color. All of that stuff is perfectly fine. I think when I was younger, I was so focused on well, they don't like me because of this. And am I gonna fit in? Is this gonna work? I went to predominantly white schools all my life.
Too, yeah.
So it's I always had that
standard.
Yeah.
Of
people be like,
standard.
oh, she's like this, or she must be ghetto, or she must be poor, or she must be this or that.
Yeah.
But it's that wasn't the case. It's okay to not fit in, and it's okay if, you still trying to find yourself at such a young age. I felt that I didn't fit in at all. I would get left out of a lot of things, but that's okay, because now looking back on it, I needed that experience to help grow me as a person. Being an African American woman in this day and age, it is a little bit harder, but the experience is everything, because I feel after everything that I've experienced, I've grown so much more. I'm so much more educated, and I'm honestly blessed for it. Some of it might have been really hard, of course, but it's a blessing more than anything if you look at it.
I would say one thing that I wish my younger self knew was that your skin color doesn't define you. It's definitely beyond your skin color, whether that's your beliefs, whether that's certain standards. That's one thing I would have told myself. It is definitely a lot harder for the Black community, Black females, especially in today's society.
I grew up in a really small town, not a whole lot of people there, especially not a whole lot of people of color. My family actually was the only family that was African American there. So it wasn't until I went to college and stepped out of my small town to where I realized and I got to learn and educate myself about who I truly am and about my roots and my history as a woman of color. And I really appreciate those that helped me see that, you know, I was more than what people see on TV, or I was more than just a stereotype that people put on me. Seeing these successful Black women just be someone, be sophisticated, have these jobs that everyone else has, like them show me that there's equal opportunity. I just have to go out there and get it and make people give it to me. It really encouraged me and gave me that momentum I needed to become successful myself. And I really try every day to pave the way for those to follow after me, whether it's young people, older people, whoever. I always try to be, I always try to set the example, you know, just because we look different, just because we have different skin shades does not mean anything. If you want something, if you want that career, you want to be successful, you have the opportunity and the tools to go out and get it. You got to make people listen sometimes, but you can do it if you put your mind to it.
All right, so Black history is so important because Black history is more than just Black history. It's American history, and it's for everyone. And oftentimes, if we don't celebrate our history and remember it, we will repeat it. And what Black History Month is all about is simply celebrating and paying tribute to the people and the events that have really shaped African American culture. They have shaped our country and our society as a whole. And when Blacks were first brought to this country in 1619, they were taught to despise their characteristics, their dark skin and their features. And in many ways, what Black History Month does is it helps us to remember those things. It helps us to celebrate diversity and the differences we have and the way that God made us individually, and celebrate that He didn't make everybody the same, but we all are different and can bring something special to the table. But I think probably the most important thing I can say about Black History Month is, it's been said before, right? Don't relegate my history to 1 month, because if we truly want to unify as a people, we will treat Blacks and their history like it matters every day, not just in 1 month. And so that would be my takeaway and what I would encourage everybody to do, because if we celebrate Blacks correctly, we don't just celebrate Blacks, we would celebrate whites, and we would celebrate all cultures, and we would unify under that. When Black History Month first started, really the goal was to recognize that Black people can contribute the same that other types of people and races can contribute to society. And I think now we are in a place where I think many people recognize that Black people bring something to the table just as much. But I think also it's important that we may not be the country that we need to be. I think we've made huge strides over the years, but I think we still have a lot of work to do. And I think 2020 and the events that happened is proof that we still have a lot of work to do. But I think what happens is we need to begin having some real conversations and real friendships with people who look different than us. For me, that means not just having Black friends, but also having white friends too. I think that means for white people, not just having white friends, but also intentionally seeking to have Black friends and understanding their cultures and understanding the things that they like to celebrate, and not looking at it as the differences as being bad, but being able to embrace those differences. And I think really as a follower of Christ, when we recognize that God has made each of us individually and uniquely, and each having different gifts, we all come together with those beautiful gifts like a body, and it's one body working together to serve one purpose. And I think that is ultimately the goal of celebrating diversity and celebrating Black history.